شو انگلیسیت خوبه؟ من انگلیسی میگم. Because it's very important for me, for three special guests here, we are honoring Masoud. And those three special guests, unfortunately, one of them cannot be with us, is Mariam, Lawrence, and Salma. This is all about Masoud, and so I'm gonna speak in English. It's gonna be probably 10-15 minutes. I don't know. I have written official speech to give you all 4 pages. I did not have the time to read it, to know how long it's gonna take. But it's gonna be light, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be happy things. So if you just stay with me, we're gonna all have a good time together. And all because of who? Masoud. Hello. Hello. Now that we are all, the reason I have to read from this, although it's written from my heart and I could speak from my heart, but if I go with my heart, it's going to take forever.
Please read.
Yes, thank you. I know you know me, so I'm going to go and read it. Because it's the first time I'm going to read, I may kind of have hiccups. This is the first time I'm going to be talking about it. Very good.
Did you read yesterday?
No.
Are you going to read tomorrow?
Did you try to read yesterday?
For a long time.
All right.
So now that we are and at the end, I really invite everybody who wants to share anything about Masoud to feel free to do so, because this is about who? About Masoud. Everybody has more to say than I do, but I took the opportunity. So let me go. Now that we are all, actually, almost all, together as Mahin, Shuri, Sheila, Moji, also Eti and Parviz, and Mehdi, and most importantly, unfortunately, and Eti and Maryam. Also Eli and Parviz. You could always correct me, but I have tried to be very politically correct.
Okay.
So I said also Eli and Parviz, and Mehdi, and most importantly, unfortunately, Eti, due to some contagious but not serious illness, who cannot be with us, missing, and also Maryam. Nonetheless, it is still a good opportunity to celebrate the 102nd birth year of our beloved father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, Abul Qasim, or Abi for sure. Abi Mojaver, who went to paradise 30 years ago, at the age of 72, and 100 birth year of our Mamani, Farishte Mojaver, our beloved mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, who joined Abi in paradise 3 years ago, at the age of 97. As they are happy together, we are happy for them, for such a beautiful life they lived, as the fruits of their happiness have gathered here today. Everybody you see here is because of this too, being added on later or from the blood. Having said that, let me make sure that we all know what I will be talking about is not about anyone else, but about Masoud Mojaver.
Masoud. چهار طرفی بیچه تو یکمانی میگیره.
102 years ago, in 1913, in Mashhad, a northern rich province of Iran, a boy is born and named Abul Qasim. Or Abi for sure. Abi grows up a handsome 22-year-old man and works as an editor to a local newspaper when he falls in love with a gorgeous woman and marries her in 1935. Think about the years. This is before First World War, Second World War. This is about Great Depression.
Yeah, this is after First World War.
1935 is after. Okay, but it's about that era. Just about right. A year later, Mahin is born. And then comes 4 years later, in 1940, Masoud. They are 4 years apart. Mahin and Masoud, 4 years apart. Unfortunately, however, this happy and beautiful family of four loses the gorgeous wife and mother when Mahin and Masoud were only 6 and 2. 6 and 2. They lost their mother. And for 7 and 3 years old, I wrote it once, I never read it. Now, as Masoud will tell you himself, he was too young to have much of any memories of his mother. The things get real hard, and young Abi, who was passionately in love with his beautiful wife, more or less about that time turns to seek comfort in alcohol. So the grandfather really goes after comforting himself.
Thank you, Masoud. That explains a lot.
Thank you very much.
Always a question.
A lot of answers. A lot of question was answered, but that's small statement.
And there's more to come.
Now we know when.
If you ask now, how I know that Masoud's mom was gorgeous, then the answer is easy. Just take a look at Masoud and Mahi.
Yes.
And then you know it as clearly as I do. Also, as we all know, Abi was passionate about beautiful women, and that proves. Give me just 10-15 minutes. I know I'm gonna screw up, so let me screw up on my own. So if you contribute to my screwing up, then I don't get
You're doing great.
We're not picking on you, we're participating with you.
Don't worry. Go ahead.
No, participations are welcome, but as I say something, just listen and then
I'm with you.
Okay, can I say something? Can I
Yes.
participate something?
Yes.
It's like 10 minutes, but you're still on one page.
I feel sorry for you,
No, we're happy.
and I also sorry for.
Man, I'm with you. Go ahead.
And I also
I'm
feel
waiting.
more sorry
I'm
for
waiting for
myself
you.
because I'm gonna have to be here and
Sounding up.
I love
this.
it.
Also,
I
as
love
we
it.
all know, Abi was passionate about beautiful women, and he proves that later on again. Their love was legendary. This is mom to Masoud and Mahin's love with my father. Was legendary, as the story is told about how Abi held his very ill wife with a contagious, fatal illness.
I think it was tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis or TB in his arms and fed her soup to assure her of soon being well, ate from the same spoon himself, encouraging her to eat. That's big.
That is big.
This is a disease that could kill you, man.
Yeah.
And you feel the wife who's passing, all of total passion, just to tell her that, honey, eat. You are well. There's nothing wrong with you. Look at me. Look at me.
Okay.
But let me remind you that this is not about Abi, but it is indeed about Masoud Mojaver, his first son. Anyways, They moved to Tehran at the age of 29 or 30. Abi becomes a general manager of Tehran's first department store called General Mode. This is like Bloomingdale of Iran. We are going back when, right?
Masoud, what was his first job? You told me, I forgot.
He was an editor
For the newspaper.
for a newspaper in Mashhad. When they were all married and living together. He was a very good writer all through his life.
تو میگی مشهد اون که میخنده چرا؟ yes.
General Moore. After a while, money was good and life was getting to become somehow back to normal. They have lost the mother, the wife, the gorgeous wife. They are in Tehran with the new set of circumstances. Apparently, Abi meets Fereshte in Bazaar when he was 32. A new love story is born. And they get married when Fereshte was 30, 2 years apart, in 1945. Now that is
At the beginning of World War II.
World War II. Thank you.
Sorry, it's the end of World War II.
No, yeah, 44 starts and it's going.
How old was Fereshte?
32.
32.
I don't have it here, but so that you know,
Fereshte was
also
How old بابا جون؟
اما ترشیده نبوده مدرن بودن بیشون
دایی.
ترشیده احمد
دایی جان بابا جون چند
اما
سالشه
منم
بود؟
ترشیده بودم.
بابا جون چند
Mama 30 and Baba 32.
نه
And so that you all know, I did not put it in my speech because it's not about Fereshte, it's not about Abul Qasim or Abi.
It's about Masoud.
Fereshte was also married. Fereshte was also married.
New formation here.
Yes, I know. I want the family. I want the family tree to live. Fereshte was married with no kids. We never knew it till our adult years because that's the culture. We find out that our mom was married. They did not have kids together. And then he became a big general of Shahs or whatever. Doesn't matter. He's not my dad. He's nobody to me. But thanks for him for not being there. I'm here. So anyway, she was married too. So at 30 and 32, they married. Out of this second marriage, there were two missed opportunities. With first two baby girls, which were taken from them by the early infant mortality syndrome. And this was heavy. These heartbreaks certainly did not help Abby's kicking off the alcohol. So the great grandpa stayed on that.
It was a diet.
Yes.
Liquid diet.
Liquid diet. He stayed on his liquid diet and went for alcohol. And as we know it later, he was alcoholic at that time because of the death of the gorgeous wife, two new beautiful baby girls who did not survive because at that time.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Our dad never were alcoholic.
No, wait a minute.
He drank occasionally the same as we did right now, and we do it.
Okay, I will go there and then you could add to it.
He never were alcoholic.
Okay, I stand corrected.
But
Let
we
me
are
continue.
alcoholic. All of us are alcoholic.
Let me continue. I stand corrected. Okay. Back on track. Time out.
Good.
Back on track. Okay. After all finished, everybody is welcome to add. However, this is only about who?
Masoud.
So don't take it away. Mariam, don't take it away. Then Ellie is born in 1949 when Masoud is 9.
You're lucky she's not here. She would choke you.
I know.
Now we know her age.
Mariam
Third time is the charm.
in 1951 when Masoud is 11. Masoud is 11, Mariam is born. Masoud is 9, Eli is born. And of course, Huma, I come running out when Masoud is 12. We are 12 years apart.
Keep running?
Mavi is 1954.
Maybe 54.
Son of a bitches.
Excuse me.
I'm not even through with the first page. You're not letting me
1955.
go.
Don't make me 1 year older. I'm 55.
Okay, take it.
Okay. Mavi is 55. Harry, what the year were you born?
56.
Okay, I was right.
من بزرگترین
Mariam,
شناسه رفته
Harry,
کم کرده.
hey, it's written. Mariam is, Harry is 56. She is a young woman. She's not an old woman. When Masoud is 14 and 16, well, sorry, Masoud is 15 and 16 respectively. Okay, my first memory of Masoud when I did not even understood the concept of brother, but rather saw this big, good-looking man and not a boy from my perspective, as he was to me a big boy or big man at the age of 3 and him 15. He was only 15.
میگه بس درخت میمونه
سه سالش بوده شما
تو مثل درخت بود وقتی 15 سال بود تو می.
I mean, when he interrupts, you're okay. But when he interrupts,
Of course.
love you.
He is the guest of
He can't do
honor.
it. Okay, I'm going to interrupt through him. Beckham.
But rather a grown-up man who I liked, and he was very pleasing to eyes. I'm a 3-year-old boy. I challenge anybody who has memories before 3 years. If you have memories, it's from your, the boogies, the nightmares you have, and I have that. But the first real memory, after those boogies, they create your memory brain. That is where your memory starts to grow. After my boogies comes the angels.
Like the biggest nightmare.
Yes. And the biggest nightmare was my angel.
The big brother.
Okay. I remember we lived in this house with big backyard and a pool. As we used to call it a hose.
باز خوبه من یادمه
یادمه منم یادمه
I remember
Salman, I'm gonna wait for Salman to come back.
That was a good house. I have a lot of good memories.
You have none.
I have
منم
no.
پنجره انداخت
It's not
پایین
the same house.
منم پنجره انداخت
Will you throw me over? That's not the house that I know.
I have good memories of that house. I do.
That's not the house that I know. پشتش بود حیاط. اتاق بالا بود. در و دیوارش نقاشی کرده بود.
یه دفعه دستم در رفته بود
Oh,
So I know, but I thought that house was in the family for a long time.
no.
You didn't tell me that. You moved.
We moved so many times.
Okay. Sorry. It's a different memory. Erase. Erase.
Unfortunately, Scott, we're gonna have to. Oh, so you're fucked up, dude.
No, seriously, I thought you were
No,
talking about
you're
the
in
house
charge
that I
of
grew up in.
video. His video on his camera is filled up. And we are not.
Mine is not. I've got the whole thing on tape.
It doesn't matter if you capture it or not.
But this is for Marianne, for me, and for a lot of things that I say. No, most of the things I say nobody knows.
I'm
My
enjoying this.
sisters
I'm
don't
sorry.
know.
I love you for this, and I'm enjoying it. It's very interesting. Please.
We do not matter.
Salamo John, okay. Salamo John, I remember we lived in this house with a big backyard and a pool, as we used to call it hose. This is a Farsi for pool. One day Masoud, while holding my hand and then back of my shirt, dropped me in that pool and instructed me and encouraged me to swim, and that was the first lesson that brought me to become a good swimmer and good diver. I challenge anybody here except Haas and Mata in diving. I said it yesterday and I say it today.
حالا چرا آتو مردان نمی‌دونی؟
Because they have been trained by the same instructor, and I have seen them performing, and they could do it. Yeah, okay. That's a game on tonight. I am sure
You should have
he
told me
has
that before I
done-
hit my head.
I am sure he has done that later with Haas and Matty, as I have seen them both doing well with swimming and diving, as I said. Okay, you'll see, Mahin was only 16 when she helped delivering me while the midwife or nurse was on her way to come to our house. Samuel, you know what that means, Dada, right? You know, I was delivered by Mahin.
Seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Mahin marries our beloved and pardoned brother-in-law Lutfali Sedqi in 1953 when he was just 17.
No, he wasn't. He was
When
17.
she was, no, she was just 17.
Okay.
17. And you know what I mean? No, there may not be an app about that, but there is a
Beatles song.
beautiful Beatles song on. And she was
What do you guys
just
say?
17.
guys
You are a
You
better
know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a better sidekick than anyone else. And he was not a part of it. Okay. Mahin and Agha Sedqi had Masoud to move in and live with them almost from the start. So growing up, although we got to enjoy Masoud as often as possible, but he did not live with us. So he was always our Santa Claus, our hero, our special someone who showed up and made everything better. He's 12 years older than me. I'm you know. So we are, so as we are growing up, we are looking at him, showing up, making everything fun for all our siblings. Eli, Mariam, me, Mavi, Pari.
کدوم خونه بودی عمو؟
We are going through all those sequences. As he is today, hero, Santa Claus, and this feeling carries forward as we see today and as we are all here together. We all know how special he is. Masoud manages to get our dad to stop drinking. Mariam, now it's not the time to shush. Now it's time to come and sit down and listen. Masoud manages to get our dad to stop drinking cold turkey with putting his own life online. He must have been about 15 then, as I have no memories of my father ever drinking even a single bottle of beer or single glass of wine. And I have all my sisters got married. In fact, none of us, Eli included, remember him drinking. Mayam, do you remember our dad drinking?
No.
Okay. I rest my case.
Thank you.
That tells me how much our father had, how much love our father had for his son Masoud. He was very young. He said, Dad, you continue that, I'm out. And he stopped cold turkey. This is Masoud. I want you to see different aspects of Masoud which we may not know. That love comes through from Masoud as I felt it all through my growing up. Now then, we all know how much Mamani loved Masoud and how much she admired Masoud June and Mahin June, which at the cost of being taken as exaggerating, I will tell you all that at times, although I was not jealous, but I was envious. Mamani,
Beautiful word.
Mamani did really love him as she could have loved anybody. And the same for Mahi. The same for Mahi. So anyway, but Ali June, which is now, Scott June, which is now, Nobody, because there's no video going on. This is really about who? It's about Masoud. Many good memories later I remember, although we did have in-house bath, but those days we had to turn on the heater as it was not around the clock, even make sure the water tank on the roof was pumped full of water for bath. See, indoor bath we had, heater we had, but you have to turn the heater on. Make sure the over the roof water tank is full to be able to take shower with comfort. So almost everyone used public bathhouses. Now, there you can have a private bathroom at the public bathhouse to yourself, or actually use the public bath, which you did not have to wait for your turn. همون عمومی. نه نمره خب باید با خصوصی نمره خصوصی بود. This is like there was a crew who would literally wash you off and even give you massage. No, دلاکا. No, these are probably all the plush and high-end lifestyle of Hollywood. To go in such a place, to be washed, to be given massage. This is all good now, but at that time, okay, again today, but then it was out of necessity. We did it out of, we had to go to bathroom and, okay. I remember at the age of 4 or 5 and up to 8, I loved it when Masoud would come and take me to those public bathhouses. Don't forget, I'm 4, 5, up to 8.
I'm very dirty.
I'm very dirty. Smelling like shit.
اگه با مامان رفته بودی کلت بخور زمین میمردی. شانس آوردی با بابا رفتی.
With him. For one, he was getting a lot of attention from the crew and masseurs, the logs, and that attention would drop over me, and I was being treated like him, a 16 to 20. What? It's just 16 to 20 for crying out. How many 16 to 20 do we have? Show me your hands. Thanks, there's no video I could be.
Here's video.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're covered.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to kick your ass with this video later. Come on.
For one, he was getting a lot of attention.
Every day.
Okay, for one, he was getting a lot of attention from the crew and masseurs, the logs, and that attention would drop over to me, and I was being treated like him, a 16 to 20 years old. In my eyes, a very mature man, tall and handsome, and not a baby, and not a boy that he may actually was himself. 16 as a teenager, but he was getting a lot of attention, and I was loving it. I just loved it. Oh my God, I can still taste I could taste those almost frosty Canada Dries, which he would have them serve us after hot, steamy, and long bath. This Canada Dry, this... من 4-5 سالم بود سیگار می‌کشیدم.
محسود می‌کشید. محسود
that Canada Dry, that frosty Canada Dry, then they would know to bring and serve him.
That was beautiful. I know that. I know what you're talking about.
It was beautiful. boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! That was not in my book. Oh boy. I give a year. I give a year of my life. No, I cried when I wrote this. This is serious. I give a year of my life not to go back and experience it all again. I'm only 4 or 5 years old.
Nice.
These are memories. These are memories that I just did not make up. These are like picture, perfect, clear in my head. And I know you all have some, and we're all gonna listen to it. But listen it from my perspective and see what I have seen in this man. Okay, all right.
This is about
Now, let's talk
It's
about
at the top of
who?
every page.
I was only 6, starting the first day going to school. I never forget. I will never do forget that first day when Masoud held my hand, walked me to school. I hope to God you could see this. It's so fresh in my brain, like there is not a movie that I have seen that's more memorable than these things that I talked to you about. Walked me to school, showed me how to cross the street, how to first look at my left and then look at my right. I wish you can all see and feel that sweet day as I remember it now and will forever. I loved Masoud's room, which he had decorated with black and white postcards of who's who of Hollywood. Now I'm 6, he's 18. See, he's 18. I'm 6, 5, 6, 17, 18. I love Masoud's room, which he had decorated with black and white postcards of who's who of Hollywood stars and singers of those years, such as Elvis Presley, James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, the heartthrobs of those days.
میپره میخنده قش میکنه
Because that's him. That's, I know him. These are the heartthrobs of those days, with the icon of them being James Dean, who I sincerely believe, as so did many others, that was not as handsome as Masoud. And believe me, if James Dean would have been living today and you would have had them side by side sitting here, you would have seen that this man is more handsome than James Dean today, as he was then. That means shut up and go on. Okay, I got the clue. Shut up and go on. Okay, many sweet memories later, I am 7 or 8, as he is 19 or 20. We live in a house in very upscale and affluent part of northern Tehran. We have a pea gravel volleyball court. How many people do you know that had a pea gravel? Fuck up. You fuck up. You're talking too much. This is not about you, Beirut. This is about Masoud, and I'm speaking. Okay, you're gonna listen. You're gonna talk at the end. We have a pea gravel volleyball court, and you don't know too many other people who had a pea gravel volleyball court. I want you to picture the lifestyle, the time, the era. Haas was not born, so he did not even matter at that time. Haas is not born, and he did not even exist. Okay, we have a relatively older neighbor with younger, beautiful wife who always sang the famous Maro Bebus, Besame, Kiss Me. This is a very beautiful, romantic Persian song. Yeah, she did. song of the era, and the #1 song on chart was "Hit the Road, Jack." Don't you gonna go back? No more, no more, no more. That's the time. The lady neighbor sang that song "Mara Bebus" only when Masoud was around and in the yard. Masoud and a gang of rich teens in Cheviron started their bicycle club that was unheard of in those years, and all of a sudden a carnival of good-looking, colorful, rich teens in a group of maybe 20 ride their bikes together and create a scene that would stop the city in its track, and all would just watch with wonder. This was not a scene that would repeat itself all over the Tehran, Mashhad, Yazd, Kerman. None of that existed. This is the first bicycle club of this.
شاهین رفته بیاد بخون بده.
Shaheen is very important to yes. Now here comes Eti. Here comes Eti, and she becomes a major part of Masoud's life, which we all understood understood it in our own childish ways.
That was the ingredients that needed for me to be here.
Yes,
Just so you know.
that's how it also. As you may all imagine, it was not an easy place to be as Masoud, as I learned just about 2 years ago from his best childhood friend Sirus Yegane. آقا مسعود سیروش یگانه هم اینجا هست.
Yes, yes.
Yes, we do know.
He was seriously sought after by many girls, but Masoud was یک دل نه صد دل, heads over here. Heads over here taken by empty. So there were many other girls that sought after her. Memories built up, and now I am 9 and 10. Here he comes home every week. This handsome dude handing me a $50 bill.
Wow.
Thank you. That was a good reaction. Maybe even 3 $20 bills. Could you see my eyes popping out? Let me tell you. Fast forward 10 to 11 years. Now I am a student at Polytechnic University. I take my girlfriend out, and with $20 bill, we go to Vivel. Some of you may know, you don't know. Now this Vivel is the top scale. I mean, it's #1 in Khiyabun Wozara. Tati knows, Ali knows. This is a cafeteria of. You go there, you may see somebody who's really somebody. I was nobody. I go there with $20 with my girlfriend. We were at the upscale cafeteria, have 2 cappuccinos, 2 slices of princess cake, which is their specialty. Now you know what it is. It's all over the place here. Go cross street to movies. Cinnamon, Paramount. Am I not right? Okay. And still have a couple of dollars left in my pocket, having tipped and all. $20 bought us 2 tickets to movie, cappuccino, cafe glossary, cake, and all of that, and we tipped. And I will not go back. Rewind
also
back.
You some love, right?
Huh?
Also bought you some love.
Yes.
And that came with as a
Exactly. That was the icing on the cake. Yes. Rewind back some 10, 11 years where I was being paid $50. What now? Do you see the size of my eyes popped out of my face? Okay, I don't know if this was Masoud's first job. This is the next thing. I don't know if this was the first Masoud's job. Then he worked at the extremely high-end hair salon called Sebo, located in Palace Square, Meidun Kach, off the Palace Avenue, Khiyabun Kach, where literally all royalty palaces were located. All the palaces in Shah's regime were in that street, Khiyabun Kach. Shah's office, کاخ مرمر, Shah's office palace and few embassies, all in the same location. Sebo, Onik, and Masoud were entourages to the queen and were tagged along on her tours all over the country. So wherever they went, Masoud, Onik, and Sebo were on the plane with them.
With the king and queen?
With I don't know if the king was probably not a thing for the king, but was a thing for the queen to have them. Maybe they gave him a haircut too, I don't know, but the queen. Next year, I finished primary, middle school, and was started high school, 12 going on 13. Haas is born, and Masoud left Sebo and started working for a construction company as the manager of their logistics. They were building highways, and this one was in province of Kurdistan, Sanandaj. Haas was adorable and just a bundle of joy. Don't look at him now. I'm talking about him.
This was a long time ago.
Haas was adorable and just a bundle of joy. But you guys and even some of you gals are now going to be really jealous. At the start of my teen years, I was given a chance to really drive an open-top Jeep. I'm 13, 14 years, I'm driving a real Jeep. You think it's big?
It's big.
How about a loader? Do you know what is a loader? How about a bulldozer? Do you know what is a bulldozer? And a grader. These are humongous. These are bigger than this building. Machinery that you build roads with. And this guy puts me behind the wheels of those, not with no instruction sitting next to me. But I'm driving those bloody things. None of you have done any of this, and at the very best had a toy to push around. Called bulldozer, grader, or other. I did it. I drove those because he put me there.
And so the closest I've come to that is the warning on the drug label. It says, do not operate heavy machinery after using it. That's the closest I've come to that. Are you experienced it? I just read about it. Love you.
High school years go by. Masoud is deep into making life for now a family of 5. As Mahta is born, and we have now a pair of boy doll and a girl doll in family. And I'm not saying that loosely. These two were the most beautiful babies that were ever born in our family. All that we could probably know, and anybody in our family. Okay. Masoud stopped the construction work as being away from family was not his cup of tea, and started working at National Bank, Bank Milli. Got back in college and graduated the accounting degree and started a second job with BMW as their accountant for Pakistan distillery, which may be taken or likened to Robert Mondavi and Jack Daniel, American Robert Mondavi, American Jack Daniel put together. Anybody and everybody who knew him or can get through to him through any of us, which by then Mariam is married, Eli is married, so family is grown up, Mamat has relatives, friends, Parviz, everybody go to Masoud. Masoud do بخوابی ببین تست رو پس نکنی
گوش بده. He's listening
من
this.
دارم گوش میدم دیگه انگلیسی تخمیه دارم ترجمه میکنم.
So everybody who knows him or can get through him to, okay. So through the expanded family, got their BMW through him at a good deal direct from Wahabzadeh. Masoud gave me the most beautiful BMW jacket. He doesn't even know it. I know he doesn't know it. He doesn't remember. He does no things for who he is. He gave me the most beautiful BMW jacket that was to die for, which I proudly wore skiing down the Dizinski resort. Thank you. With 2 jobs, Masoud worked hard, as so did Eti, but they partied even harder. Masoud amazed everybody with partying and being able to drink as much as he liked, smoke, and although some parties went on to 2, 3 a.m., he slept where we all were, Masoud's, Ellie's, Mariam's, Mavi's, Paris, or anywhere else, for a couple of hours after the party, and without any problem or hesitation showed up to work at Bank of Melli 5 a.m. the next day. 5 a.m. he was bang.
I know that for sure.
Yeah. And by 7:30 a.m. did the most complex and sophisticated error correction between computer records and branch data. He showed me what he did a couple of times, and I was at awe.
Ticker tape.
Yeah.
Ticker tape.
It's not an easy thing to do. It's so, you don't go to school to learn what he did. I just tell you that much. It wasn't because of his accounting degree that he was able to do that. He was so valuable, he had the key to the branch. Before anybody, before the branch was open, he will go in, he will do his work, he will leave, and then the branch starts the work. That's where he was. Now, hear this out. Mavi is dating Behruz in their school years. Unbeknown to any one of us, I am working on my first engineering job, making good money, and in just few years after my first car was totally trashed and totaled at the bottom of a ravine alongside of a road in Turkey, I am now...
Triumph.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are going to triumph. Yes, thank you. I am now in love with a red convertible Triumph TR6, a 2-seater sport car that would turn heads with the hard and soft top. I am short $5,000, but I must have the car. Although there are others whom I could go to and ask to borrow, with no hesitation, I go only to one person who, although I thought he can, it did not matter. It did not make any difference, as he would have borrowed just to be the brother that he was. He would have borrowed to give me that money. I was that sure to go to him. So, who did I go to?
And he said no.
And he said no to surprise the heck out of you. The fact that he gave me the money in a heartbeat is not as important as him wholeheartedly knowing that, as he put it, مشتری اول و آخرش خودتی. Meaning, you will have a hard time selling it later, which turned out to be true. But that was it. That was it. Now remember, he is a go-to-go man for any and all BMWs, and instead of giving me the $5,000, he could have financed the best BMW for me with a snap of his finger. But did he even once attempt to talk me out of it? No, he just let me be me, and he supported me. Never said nothing. He just said, "Masoud, مشتری اول آخرش خودتی." And he gave me the 5,000.
That's the problem. That's why you ended up with those glasses.
Yes.
If somebody would have told you earlier, you would not have purchased those things.
There is much more to say which I have skipped over, and will just end with saying that I have said many times behind his back, but not in his face. Dude, I could not have asked for a better brother than what I have in you. Indeed, if I was given every ammunition, ingredients, tools, and equipment to design and build a brother for myself, I could not have done it as good as you are, and I love you, Masoud.
کشید نظرتون صدا من عوض
That's classic Masoud.
I could have not have read that coming. I could not have known that coming.
همین دو کلمه گفتم بس
آقا هر کی بخواد هر چی بگه is the time to say it.
I want to say something. If anybody, okay, everybody, 2 minutes. If anybody doubts the love between two brothers, I'm telling you, he just put an end to that. These guys love each other.
I love him like crazy.
The reason I'm crying is for Carlos to put up with it.
I know. Thank you, Masoud. But as you know, I encourage anybody who wants to say anything.
برای که باسو که خودش میدونست که برای بچه ها طلبه ها
That's exactly the I wish you wouldn't thank me because it's not about me, but thank you for thank Masoud for being such a good brother to me. The family,
Deep breath, deep breath, deep breath.
I know you know, but you didn't know it from my perspective. You know it from yours. It's good to know from my perspective. I love you.
Look at me. I love you.
I love you, dude. Did you capture all of that? You know how many
Everything.
giant
Everything.
gigabytes is gonna
Doesn't matter.
be?
matter. Okay, and with that case, we say, hey guys,
I swear to God,
look at it.
I
With that
did not
case,
have the time to
Just
get
say-
to know. I have no time. I just wrote it.
look at me. Just say cut.
Cut.